Now we're going to talk about how to prepare your score and your script for learning. Okay, so as I talked about this before, I mentioned that something that is really, really great is if you can make a copy of your script and your score and put it single-sided in a 3-ring binder with generous margins. So therefore you can actually write all over it, highlight, do whatever it is that you need, and you don't mess up your original score. Now, you know, if you don't mind doing everything out of your original score, or if you can't actually copy the script and the score, then that's fine. Work with what you have. But the thing is that the binder allows you to take lots of notes, as many notes as you want, and it also allows you to add pockets to that binder so that you can have all of your rehearsal schedules and any images or notes or anything else that you need, that it will all be together with your score and your script. Okay, so that's why I like that. Now, if you are using a script with a musical score, make sure, again, and I said this in an earlier video, put that all in order. Okay, so don't have your script at the front of the binder and the score in the back of the binder. Actually intermingle the script into the score so that when you're reading it just like it's going to happen on stage, where the dialogue then moves right into the songs, which then moves into the next dialogue, and so on and so forth. Now, what I would suggest is that you actually use tabs to separate the scenes of the show, okay? And you can get these little tabs that are like little sticky tabs that are not permanent, so that you can move them around and just stick them onto the edge of all of the scenes, the first pages of the scenes in the show, so that you can easily find any scene, okay? Because when you're in rehearsals, rarely are you going to be actually blocking everything in order. They may say, oh, let's go to Act 2, Scene 6. And so you don't have to like try to look through your score page by page and try to figure out where it is. You've got the tabs that just lead you there. And you could, you know, be fancy and hyper organized and, you know, use a different color tab for each act, or maybe you use a different color tab for the scenes that you're in versus the scenes that you're not in. Whatever, get as fancy as you want. All right? Then what you want to do is you want to highlight your part. Okay? Now, you can highlight either your musical line in the score, or you can highlight the text. Doesn't matter, whatever it is. I had a tendency to always highlight the musical line just because that was easier for me to follow, especially in ensembles and such. But it makes just as much sense to highlight your text that you're singing, and it really is personal preference. So whatever you like. And in a script, you can highlight just your character's name, or if you want to highlight the lines themselves, whatever. You may also use a different color highlighter to highlight the scene directions, okay? That might be important. Or anything else about the reading of a particular line that you want, musical directions or whatever. Do that with a different colored highlighter, okay? If your show is in a foreign language, so mostly that's the opera crowd, the first thing you must do is write in the word-for-word translation under the text. So, again, I wouldn't write it like in the margins somewhere. I wouldn't write it necessarily above the vocal line. I would write it underneath the text. So, as you are reading the text, your eye line is right in line with the translation. So you start to train your brain to think about the translation when you're singing the foreign language, okay? Use the margins or the back page of your of your single-sided copy to make notes about what awkward sentences mean, right? So if the foreign language has the verbs and the adjectives and whatever in a different place in the sentence, the word-for-word translation doesn't make any sense, then in the margins, make little notes about what this sentence actually means, all right? Make sure, and this should go without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway, make sure that you translate word for word the entire show. Do not just translate the scenes that you're in. And even more egregious than that, do not just translate your part, okay? You have to translate the entire show, okay? If you haven't figured this out yet from the previous videos, you have to know what's going on in the entire show to truly understand your character. You have to know what every other character is saying to truly understand your character. All right? So make sure that you translate the entire show, not just your part. Okay? And finally, if there is any IPA, the International Phonetic Alphabet, that you need to add in order to remind you how to pronounce anything. I mean, some people actually IPA their entire role, and that's great. Some people don't IPA anything, and some people only IPA certain words or syllables that they just need reminders from. But take this opportunity in the preparation of your score or your script to IPA what you need to IPA, okay? So you will have the map all worked out, and you know exactly what it is that you're looking at and working from in the preparation of your script. I'll see you in the next lesson.